I'm going to discuss very important concept. That is what we call it as the type
Typecasting.
typecasting. Yes, can anyone tell me what exactly the typecasting?
कन्वर्ट करतात ना एका डेटा टाइप मधून दुसऱ्या टाइप मध्ये.
Yes.
एक डेटा टाइप जो असतो त्याला दुसऱ्या डेटा टाइप मध्ये कन्वर्ट करतात.
Okay. Basically, data types are differ in the size. Data types are differ in the size. So sometimes we need to convert one type of data. See, sometimes according to the business requirement, we need to convert one type of data into another type. Just now we observed in the method overloading that we are passing the integer type of a value. We are passing the integer type of a value, and in the methods there was no exact method with the integer type parameters. So in that case, your integer is going to be converted into the float, or integer can be going to be converted into the double. So we have observed if both are there, then integer is converted to the float. Integer is converted to the float, and it happens automatically. It happens automatically. And hence I can say about the typecasting is that conversion of one type of a data. See, one type of a data, conversion of one type of a data into another type. That is what we can say typecasting. That is what we can say typecasting. So here we can see like integer can be converted. We have just converted to the float. Okay, or we have converted to the double. Okay, integer can be converted to the float or a double. And sometimes you see it was the requirement that I want integer should be converted to the float or a double. So this is what we call it as the typecasting. Or if sometimes we have to convert our float, to integer, or we have to convert your float or I can say just float to integer or a double to integer. I can say double to we can say integer. So even this is also we call it as the typecasting. This is also we call it as the typecasting. Sometimes we have the employee object. Employee, assume EMP is that, and now this employee we have to convert. This employee we have to convert to the other type. If this employee we have to convert to the string type, we have to convert to the string type. So such a kind of conversion is nothing but such a kind of conversion is nothing but the typecasting we can see. See, sometimes what we have to convert, we have to convert int to, we call it as the integer, int to integer, and this is also we call it as the typecasting. This is also called as the typecasting. So conversion of one type of a data, conversion of one type of a data, type is read here as a type as a data, right? So conversion of one type of a data into another type is called as a typecasting. So according to such conversions, this typecasting is of a different type. This typecasting is of a different type. One I can say, this is what I can say widening. What I can say, we call it as the widening. Yes, I can say widening typecasting. So widening, I can say typecasting. So widening typecasting is nothing but what? Widening typecasting is nothing but what? conversion of
Higher, lower
conversion
into
conversion of smaller type to bigger. Conversion of a smaller type to bigger is nothing but we call it as the it as a widening typecasting. So typecasting, these are the different types. I can say different types of typecasting. Different types of typecasting. So widening is one of the typecasting. Widening is nothing but one of the typecasting. In this one, conversion of a smaller type is been done to the bigger one. Conversion of a smaller type is done to the bigger one. So how it will be happen? So you can see here. Byte will be converted. To short. Okay, short will be get converted to the character. Character will be get converted to the integer. This can be done like we can say long. Okay, then it is what we can say float. Okay, then float can be converted to the double. So if such kind of conversion is happen, then it is called as a widening. And remember, widening typecasting happens automatically. Widening typecasting happen automatically. We as a programmer, we don't need to do anything over there. We don't need to do anything over here. So that is what we can say widening. So for example, assume I do have an integer number is equals to 10. Integer number is equals to 10. Okay, and now what I want to write here, integer, I can say here integer num1, or sorry, I just write here float num1 is equals to number. Okay, so here number having a data type as an integer and num1 having a data type as a float. So this value of a num1 becomes 10.0. That means what? 10 is been converted to the 10.0. That means that integer is been get converted to the float. And this is what we call it as the widening, and widening happen automatically. We as a programmer, we don't need to do anything. Like in the method overloading, we have written like this one, obj dot add, and in that one we have passed here 100. Okay, comma 200. We have passed 100, comma 200. So from here, execution control goes to void. Sorry, that was the method like a public void add, and in a bracket we have put a double num1. Okay, comma double num2. Okay, it was the method like this one. So in this one, your 100, it was a type of integer, and integer is going to be converted to the double. Okay, this 20, that is integer, is going to be converted to the double. So this is what smaller is going to be converted to the bigger. In this, we have not done anything. It is happened automatically. And that is what we call it as the widening. Clear, guys?
yes, sir.
Yes, Siddesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then there is another one type. We call it as the second type. We call it as a narrowing. Narrowing typecasting. Okay. So narrowing typecasting is exactly opposite to this. I can say conversion of bigger type. See, bigger type to smaller. Conversion of a bigger type to smaller is nothing but a, we can say, narrowing. Is nothing but a narrowing. That means what here, see, you have the double, and double is going to be converted to the float. Double is going to be converted to the float. Float can be converted to the long. Here we can convert your long to integer. Here we can convert long to integer. Then we can convert integer to character. Then we can convert your character to short. And then your short can be converted to byte. So such a kind of a conversion is called as narrowing. So that is what conversion of a bigger type to smaller. But here I can say narrowing typecasting. Narrowing typecasting does not happen automatically. See what I'm saying? Narrowing does not happen automatically. So who have to do? So programmer how to convert. Programmer how to provide code to perform narrowing. Okay, so how? So for example, see, assume like I have the data type as a float. Okay, percentage is equals to, and I have given a 90.5. Float percentage is equal to 90.5. And now I want to convert it to the integer num. Integer number is equals to percentage. Integer num is equal to percentage. Percentage having a float and num is integer. So it will not done automatically. If we are writing like this one, compiler gives error. What it will say? What you are trying, you are putting the bigger glass water into small water, and it will not happen. I will not do this one. And if you want to do forcefully, so the remaining water you have to just complete water will be not filled in there. So other water will be get wasted. Some water will be get wasted. So here what wastage will be get happen. So this decimal point after the decimal point, that will be get lost in this conversion. So how it will get happen? Here you guys have to put in the bracket in which type your percentage need to be converted. So I have to convert my percentage into integer type. So percentage will be going to be converted to the integer. So now 90.5 was there, but in the number you will get only 90. So that is what the loss of precision, loss of the data will be get happen whenever we are trying a narrowing. Okay, but according to the business requirement, whenever we guys have to perform this one, we need to put this one inside the bracket. Okay, for example, I do have character ch is equals to, I can say 65. Character, not a character ch is, I can say here, okay, that here character a. So it is of the type of character. Okay, now I want to convert it to the integer. Integer number is equals to ch. Here what I am trying, character is going to be converted to the integer. Here. So in this case, ch will be automatically went here. CH will be automatically went here. Since it is the concept of, we can say, widening. This is the concept of widening. But if assume like we have the integer number is equal to 65. We have the integer number is equal to 65. And you want to put that one into the character CH is equals to number. Is equals to number. In this case, actually, it will use the error. So to do this one, actually, you have to put like this one in the bracket. You can put, I want that one into the character type. I want that one into the character type. So 65 will be get converted to the character and then assigned to the CH. Then assigned to the CH. So such a kind of a conversion, such a kind of explicit conversion is an narrowing. Okay, and such a kind of conversion automatically which is happening, it is called as a widening. It is called as a widening. So we can see this both the concept here in the Eclipse. Okay, like assume I will create one class here. New class. Okay, name of a class is a typecasting. I can write typecasting. This is my class I have created. Okay, in that one I'm going to put a public static void main. Okay, in that, see, this is my class, typecasting class is there. Okay, in that I'm just going to put here, okay, that I'm going to provide the widening. Okay, so in widening, what I have written, integer, there was the number 1, okay, is equals to, number 1 is equal to, I can say 90. I have put it a 90. And now I want to convert it to the float percentage. Float percentage is equals to, I am writing a number 1. I'm writing a number 1. And here I given the, this one. So see, integer number 1, num1 is equal to 90. Float percentage is equal to num1. What happening? It is doing internally. Remove percentage and all. The value of the local variable per is not used. Okay, and we'll try to write this out. Here I'm going to write a percentage. I'm going to write a percentage. Okay, we'll try to execute this and we'll see. See, 90.0 is done. 90.0 is done, and this happens automatically. This happens automatically. So this is what we call it as the, widening. Okay, we can have another one example. Like I'm going to put a character CH is equals to, in the single quotation, I just put it a. And then I want integer number 2 is equals to, I just write a CH. And see, you can see here it is not showing any problem. Sys out. Okay, and I'm just trying to put a number 2. And you can see your character is been converted automatically. To the integer. You can see character was A. It is converted. It is the ASCII value. It is every character have the ASCII value. We call it as Unicode here. So it have the 65. So it is been displaying. So here the conversion of one type of data into another type is done automatically. So we as a programmer, we don't need to do anything. That is what we call it as the widening. But there is another one concept. We call it as the narrowing. So in narrowing, here automatically it will be not happen. Automatically. So assume like I have put a percentage is equals to 90.5. Assume I have put a percentage is equal to 90.5. So by default it will be considered as a double. See, actually it will be considered as a double, and double to float, it will be not happen automatically. So I just write here a percentage 1. Okay, and I will make it as a double. So double percentage 1, double %1 is equal to 95, 90.5. Now I want to convert it to the integer. So integer num3. Okay, I'm writing number 3. It is what to understand. I'm making this one. Okay, integer number 3 is equals to, I'm writing a %1. I'm writing a %1, and you can see it is giving the error. It is giving the error that type mismatch cannot convert from double to int. Type mismatch cannot convert from double to int. So this is what the problem. So narrowing will not happen automatically. Converting a bigger to small will not happen automatically, because there is a chance of loss of a data. There will be a loss of a data. So if forcefully, it is what it is saying that here, if you try, your data will be get lost. If still you want to convert your double to the integer, you have to specify the code. So here in the bracket, I can specify double. I can specify double. Sorry. I have to specify integer. That means what? This %1 will be converted to the integer and then will assign to number. So if I write here sys out, okay, and then I will just try to display num3. I am just putting the number 3, and you can see your percentage. This 0.5 will be get lost. That the data which after the precision, that will get lost, and you get only 90. That is what the integer. So this is what we call it as the narrowing. Assume like again I just have the integer num4 is equals to, we can say 96. Okay, we have 60, I can say 66, or I can say 90. Okay, I have given integer num4 as a 90, and now I want to convert character ch1 is equals to, I just write to num4. I'm writing num4. I'm writing, and you can see now it is giving me the problem that num4 cannot be converted to the ch. So there is a type of mismatch, cannot convert from integer to character. Still, if you want to do that one, you have to provide the code. As a developer, how to provide the code? So I can write a char character. So your this integer will be going to be converted to the character type. And then if I try to display sys out, and then I'm writing ch1. I'm writing a ch, is it ch1? Yes. So if I'm writing ch1 and run this code, you can observe it is showing the Z. 90 is the ASCII value of a capital Z. Okay. So that is what the concept of a typecasting, that is what the concept of, we can say, widening and the narrowing. Clear, guys? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Shweta?
हो.
सर यालाच पार्स करणे पण म्हणतात ना, पार्स.
त्यालाच पार्सिंग पण म्हणतात. ओके. सो हे झाले दोन प्रकार, टाइप कास्टिंगचे दोन प्रकार. आता इथे आपण काय केलं माहितीये का? आपण काय केलं की प्रिमिटिव्ह टू प्रिमिटिव्ह कन्व्हर्जन केलं. हे जे कन्व्हर्जन जे आपण आतापर्यंत केलं, नॅरोविंग आणि वाईडनिंग मध्ये आपण काय केलं? प्रिमिटिव्ह टू प्रिमिटिव्ह. आतापर्यंत कन्व्हर्जन काय होतं? हे प्रिमिटिव्ह टाइप, प्रिमिटिव्ह टू प्रिमिटिव्ह कन्व्हर्जन म्हणजे काय की स्टँडर्ड डेटा टाइप converted to the standard type only. Standard type converted to the type here. So I can say here it make it as a A. Okay, primitive to the primitive only. But sometimes we have to go for the next type of a conversion. We have to go for the next type of a conversion. That is what again the typecasting. Okay, and I can say yes, I can say primitive to, yes, primitive to non-primitive.
Yes.
Primitive to non-primitive. And the third one I can say that is what the C, non-primitive, primitive to primitive.
आणि मग प्रिमिटिव्ह टू रॅपर काय?
Primitive to wrapper and wrapper to non-primitive, it is one of the same. So if we have to perform the both the kind of conversion, see, I'm telling here, if we have to perform, if we have to perform such B and C kind of conversion, or typecasting, we need to use wrapper classes. We need to use wrapper classes compulsory. Then here concept come, what exactly the wrapper classes? What exactly the wrapper class? So I can say here in Java I can say there is a package java.lan. In java.lan package contains classes for every primitive data type, and all these classes are called as wrapper classes. So in a Java package contains classes for every primitive data type called as wrapper classes. For example, if this is byte is a primitive type, what is the class? I can say byte is a wrapper class. Small byte is a data type. This is the primitive and this is the non-primitive because this is the class. Then we have the short. This is the primitive. Then what is the capital? Short. This is the wrapper class. Then we can have the int. Then what is here? Integer. This is the wrapper class. If we have the long as a small data type, then we have the capital long as a wrapper class. Okay, if we have the float, okay, then we have the capital float as a wrapper class. If we have the double, this is the data type, primitive type, then we have the capital double as a wrapper class. If we have the char as a primitive type, then we have the character. As a wrapper class. We have the boolean as a data type or the primitive type, and we have the capital boolean as a wrapper class. So every data type present in the Java have its associated class, present in the java.lang package, and hence all these classes are called as wrapper classes. So why wrapper classes are used? I can say wrapper classes are used to perform to convert primitive type to non-primitive and non-primitive to primitive. So if you have the business requirement, wherever I need to convert the primitive to non-primitive or non-primitive to primitive, I need to go for the wrapper classes. Hope it is clear up to this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. then there might be question that then why there is a need to convert primitive to non-primitive, or why there is need to convert non-primitive to primitive. Okay, so why such a conversion is needed? Why such a conversion is needed? Why such a conversion is needed? So actually it have a two reason. One I can say in collection actually we have the next a very important topic, that is what the collection framework. Collection, all classes can store only non-primitive type. All classes can store only non-primitive type. Okay, so all the collections can store only non-primitive type. Okay, so in that cases, if we have to store the primitive values, then we need a use of a wrapper classes. Okay, in such a case, if we have to store primitive type, then we need to convert the primitive to non-primitive. Okay, then there is another one, second one case is what? See, if we for any function, if you pass a primitive value, for any function, if you pass a primitive value, it will goes as a call by value. But if we want to pass it call by reference, if we have to pass values as a call by reference, then we have to convert it. From primitive to non-primitive, because if you pass primitive values, it will goes by call by value only. But if we have to pass it by call by reference, then we should convert it. So that is what, these are the two reasons actually we should go for such a conversion. Yes, getting?
Yes.
Okay, so according to this, such a conversion is of a two type. Okay, or I can say three type. One, or I just make it as A, we call it as the boxing. Boxing is nothing but what? Conversion of primitive type to non-primitive type to non-primitive, then it is called as a boxing. See how, for example, assume like I have integer number, okay, and it integer number and value of that one is I have the 10. So it is what of a type of integer. Okay, so integer is a primitive type. I want to convert it. I want to box it. You guys know that we always do in the friend. We buy a very small chiller one gift, but we pack it a very good box, bigger box. We put that. We want to make full. Here too, we will box it. How? I just, no doubt, value will be same, 10. But what I will do, I just use the integer wrapper class. Integer obj is equals to new integer, and in a bracket I will put a num. What is num? In a num, what is there? Num having the value as a 10, so that 10 will be get attached to the obj. So this is what we call it as the boxing. So now this 10, that is num, it was the primitive type. Now we have created the obj. Obj is the object, and objects are always non-primitive because it is of type of class. Okay, so here we have converted primitive to non-primitive. It is called as a box. Yes, clear?
Yes, sir.
There is another one concept. Okay, next only 3 minutes. Next, we have unboxing. So whatever the gift given to the friend, she needs to be, yes, open that one. So how it has been opening? So that is what? Conversion of.
Non-primitive to
Conversion of.
primitive.
Yes, non-primitive. Non-primitive to primitive. Non-primitive to primitive is nothing but the unboxing. So for example, see, you guys have this obj and object having the 10, or I can say like I will write like this one: integer obj is equals to new integer. Okay, g integer, and in that one there is a 10. There is a what? 10, assume like. Okay, so it has been boxed. Now I want to make it as an integer num. Integer num is equals to that value I want. I want that value, that 10 should be assigned in the num. So how I can do? I can do like this one: obj dot we have one method int value. We have one method int value. So like this one, we have byte value, we have char value, we have short value, we have double value, like that one. So see, actually here we have the int value. So obj, whatever the value is present in the object, that will be converted to the integer. That will be converted to the integer, and then we will be get assigned to the number. We will get assigned to the number. So it is what we call it as the, it is what we call it as the unboxing. We call it as the unboxing. And then you guys can see other methods of this one. Okay, every data type have the associated method to go for unboxing. Okay, now there is a C, we call it as the autoboxing. Autoboxing. We call it as the autoboxing. So here actually, if conversion of primitive to non-primitive happens automatically, then it is called as a autoboxing. We have few seconds, guys. So if it is closed, then okay. So autoboxing is what? See, like same statement here. We have not done anything. But internally, your object 10 will be get converted to the object. Or see, actually, we have one other collection classes. For example, assume V is object V. Okay, and we have one add method. Okay, in that one we have put a 10. We assume V is a object of a vector class. V is object of a vector class. Okay, so if I tried, this 10 will be automatically converted to the object, and that it will be get added. So this is what we call it as the autoboxing.